The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village, hugged by big green hills, there lived a boy named Timmy. Timmy was a shepherd, which means he had a super important job, watching over the fluffy, bouncy sheep. Every day, he sat on a grassy hill, keeping those sheep safe from sneaky wolves. But, oh boy, sitting on that hill all day was so boring. The sheep just munched grass, and Timmy had no one to play with. One bright, sunny afternoon, Timmy had a sparkly idea. I know how to make things fun, he thought. He climbed up onto a big round rock and shouted as loud as he could. Wolf! Wolf! A big scary wolf is coming! Roar! His voice echoed across the hills. The villagers, bakers, farmers, and even old Granny Lila dropped their baskets and tools. Oh no! They gasped, running up the hill, their feet going pitter-patter on the dirt path. But when they got there, huffing and puffing, guess what? There was no wolf, just Timmy, rolling on the grass, laughing so hard his cheeks turned red. Ha ha! I tricked you, he giggled. The villagers frowned, their eyebrows all scrunched up. That's not funny, Timmy, said the baker, dusting flour off his apron. They trudged back to the village, muttering, that silly boy. A few days later, Timmy was bored again. The sheep were munching, the birds were chirping, and the sun was shining. But Timmy wanted excitement. So he climbed back onto his rock and shouted, Wolf! Wolf! Help! It's a giant wolf! Growl! The villagers heard him and thought, oh no, not again. But they didn't want the sheep to get hurt, so they grabbed their brooms and shovels and ran up the hill. Zoom, zoom. But then, surprise, no wolf. Timmy was laughing even harder this time, holding his belly. Ha ha ha! Fooled you again, he cheered, dancing around. The sheep just blinked at him, chewing their grass. The villagers were really grumpy now. Granny Leela shook her finger and said, Timmy, stop being silly. They marched back to the village, their boots stomping, thump, thump, thump. Now here's where things get super serious. A few days later, when the sun was shining and the flowers were swaying, something creepy happened. A real wolf, a big, sneaky wolf with shiny gray fur and glowing yellow eyes, slipped out of the dark forest. Sneak, sneak. It tiptoed toward the sheep, licking its chops. The sheep started to tremble, their fluffy wool shaking. Timmy saw the wolf and his heart went thump, thump, thump. Oh no, he cried. He jumped onto his rock and shouted, Wolf! Wolf! Please, help! A real wolf is here! But then, nobody came. The villagers down in the village heard Timmy's shouts. They looked at each other and said, "It's just Timmy playing tricks again." The baker kept kneading his dough, the farmers kept planting their seeds, and Granny Lila kept knitting her scarf. They didn't budge. The wolf, low and rumbly, and chased the sheep. Bah! The sheep ran in circles, their little legs scampering. Timmy waved his arms and shoo, wolf, shoo! But the wolf was too big and too fast. He felt so scared, his tummy all twisty. The wolf scattered the sheep, and some of them ran far, far away into the hills. Timmy tried to chase them, but he was just one boy, and his legs couldn't keep up. Finally, the villagers heard the sheep's loud "da-ba" cries and thought, "Wait a minute, that sounds real." They grabbed their tools and ran up the hill, their hearts racing. But when they got there, it was too late. The wolf was gone, and so were half the sheep. Timmy sat on his rock, his straw hat in his hands, tears dripping down his cheeks like little raindrops. "I'm so sorry," he sniffled. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Granny Leela, with her kind eyes, sat next to him. She patted his shoulder gently. "Oh, Timmy," she said softly, "when you tell lies, people stop believing you. Therefore, you have to tell the truth, so we know when you really need help." Timmy nodded, wiping his tears. He felt so bad for the lost sheep and for making the villagers mad. From that day on, Timmy made a big promise. "No more tricks," he said, crossing his heart. He watched the sheep carefully, never shouting wolf unless he saw one with his own eyes. The villagers started to trust him again. But it took time. Timmy helped the farmers, carried baskets for Granny Lila, and even shared his apples with the other kids. Slowly, the village smiled at him again, and the sheep felt safe under his care. And so, Timmy learned a super-duper important lesson. Always tell the truth, because trust is like a shiny treasure. It's hard to get back once it's lost. The village stayed peaceful. The sheep kept munching, and Timmy? Well, he was never bored again because he found joy in being the best shepherd he could be. The end.